Wayne Larrivee, Randy Wright, Jim Barber. Michigan leading at the end of one quarter. And the Wolverines are on the drive. They've got a 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line of the Indiana Hoosiers. A warm, sunny afternoon here in central Indiana. Homecoming for the Hoosiers and the Wolverines. Now the Hoosiers in a blitz. Clarence Williams finds a big hole. Kywin Supernall makes the tackle across the 20, but it's a gain of 12 yards to the 19 of Indiana.
When you've been running or trying to run to the outside and you catch a team in a blitz, you can sometimes spring a guy right to the middle. Take a look at the block on the right, little trap play, huge hole opening up, and then you see a lineman blocking downfield. John Jansen throws a nice block downfield. That opens it up for Thomas.
This is a big defensive stand now for Indiana, trailing 3-0 here early in the second quarter. Michigan threatening, and on the right side it's Chris Floyd again, running through arm tackles down near the 6-yard line. First down on a gain of 13 yards.
Well, whether you call Howard or Williams or Thomas or Floyd, you could just go down the list. They have so many weapons that can beat you. Take a look at this hole. You run inside, now you get Indiana thinking inside. You run outside, nice cut by Floyd, and a missed tackle by Joe King. You can't afford to miss tackles in the secondary. You may be the last guy between the ball carrier and the goal line.
Zeman and Jansen on the right side of the Michigan offensive line have been opening the holes now on this drive as Michigan faces a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line of Indiana. And Greasy, a quick handoff this time to Howard, try to slip him up the middle, and he gets about 3 yards on the play down to the 3-yard line. Lamar, the linebacker, made the stop. We're in Bloomington, Indiana, Memorial Stadium. Michigan leading 3-0 early going second quarter. Wayne Larrivee, Randy Wright, Jim Barber, good to have you with us on this sun-splashed afternoon. Second down and goal to go for the Michigan Wolverines. That is not the biggest offensive line you'll see, but it's one of the most athletic in the country. Howard trying to get around the end. Howard skips over the pylon for the touchdown. Chris Howard, the senior out of River Ridge, Louisiana, puts the first touchdown on the board today. And the Michigan Wolverines lead 9-0.
We talked about Michigan's speed from the backfield around the corner, and this time you're not going to bring him down with an arm tackle, and Howard's got enough speed to get around that corner and into the end zone before he runs out of field, and that's just good, solid speed by a good back.
Baker for the point after. Greasy got the hold down, and the kick is good. Michigan extends its advantage on this run by Chris Howard to 10-0 over Indiana. A very efficient Michigan attack, motoring to the end zone for the first time this afternoon early in the second quarter. The Wolverines lead 10-0. Jay Feely getting set to kick it away. Joey Ellums right there in your screen. One of the deep backs for the Hoosiers. Take a look at the time of possession, heavily in favor of Michigan. This is something that Indiana could ill afford to have happen. This kick booms deep into the end zone. Ellums will stay there with it. Indiana will take over at its 20-yard line.
What's equally as important, Wayne, with that time of possession is Michigan has done something with it. They have finished off their drives by putting points on the board. First the field goal, then the touchdown.
On this particular scoring drive for Michigan, 12 plays, 87 yards to pay dirt. 4 minutes, 31 seconds time of possession. And again, what we have seen for Indiana is they have not been able to get their ground attack on track so far today, Randy.
No, they need to be able to run the ball in order to stay in this game, control the clock a little bit, and give their defense a rest. If they don't do that, their defense is going to be out there all day.
Maxwell in motion. Rogers, Chris Gall in the flat. Woodson made the stop, gain of about 3 yards. And Randy, last week Wisconsin took away the fullback in the passing lanes. This week we're seeing Gall in evidence a little bit more. What is Michigan doing differently than Wisconsin did last week?
Well, Michigan has much better corners, so they let their corners cover the wide receivers, so they vacate the flat. That opens up the backs in the flat. Also, Indiana came in today wanting to throw the ball to their backs a little more because they felt they were going to have three options. First read, second read, throw it away. You're not going to see Jay Rogers back there and look all over the field.
Ball in motion, and Rogers again to the air. Penalty marker is down, and the pass incomplete. Randy Maxwell, the intended receiver, could not quite hang on, and the coverage provided by Weathers, Andre Weathers, in the secondary of the Michigan Wolverines. Illegal procedure of the preliminary indication against the Indiana Hoosiers. False start, to be exact. To get inside the huddle of your favorite Big Ten team, go online at www.big10.org for all the football and conference news from around the Big Ten.
Illegal formation on the offense. Penalty is refused. Third down.
So third down for Indiana. Third and about 8.
That is not Indiana's best position. 3rd and 8. I believe they're 1 for 30 when they have third down and 8 yards or more to go. Not a very high successful rate. Don't make a lot of first downs.
Indiana with a cluster to the bottom of your screen. And out of that cluster, Gall in motion. Rogers under pressure. Rogers wrapped up and sacked back near the 10-yard line. Joaquin Feazell, the defensive end out of Fort Valley, Georgia, makes the sack and loss of yardage back to the 11.
Michigan is not a big pressure team. They only had 3 sacks coming into this game, and you see Feazell there just whip his man and comes around and wraps up Rogers so as not to let him get away. Indiana's got 5 men blocking on 3, and Feazell splits them, comes back and gets a big sack.
Sutkowski in punt formation. Right on to Woodson, who fields it at the 46 of Indiana, and look out. Woodson inside the 30-yard line to the 27, and Michigan in a position to strike once again deep in Hoosier territory. 10-0 Michigan with 11:58 to go, first half. Last we talked just a few seconds ago, Michigan was about to take over the football at the Indiana 27-yard line, but a holding call early on that return out of the 46-yard line of Indiana and back them up 10 yards from there off the holding penalty against Michigan. A 29-yard penalty means the Wolverines, instead of starting in plus territory, begin this drive back at their 44-yard line. Still not what you would call bad field position, but you know, when you consider what it could have been.
Could have been better, but this isn't bad, as you said.
First down to the 44. Clarence Williams, the long setback, and he gets the call to the flank. There's that Michigan speed we talked about, a gain of about 10 yards into Hoosier territory to the 46-yard line. Robinson, King, and Supernaw, a trio, collaborate on the tackle.
What this speed does also, Wayne, is when you get to the corner so quickly, you go one-on-one with the defensive backs. You don't even give the linebackers a chance to slow you down. And when you let a back get his momentum going for that long a period of time, it's just so hard to bring him down one-on-one.
Clarence Williams, who was the starter, a junior out of Detroit, Michigan. Last year, he was a starter. Gained over 800 yards rushing. He's sharing time now with Chris Howard and Anthony Thomas, a true freshman running back who's seen some action here today. Greasy calls for a timeout here. Apparently, by the time Michigan got the play in, Brian didn't have enough time to call it at the line. So rather than take the penalty, he takes the timeout. 11:29 to go, first half. Michigan by 10. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Jim Barber back in Bloomington, Indiana. Michigan at the 46 of the Hoosiers on a first down. Greasy screens it out. Chris Howard, well set up play, and Howard down to the 35-yard line on a gain of about 11 yards. James Lamar made the stop. Back to Studio 66, Mike Gleason.
Well, Wayne, Pittsburgh trailed Temple 7-3, but not anymore. Terry Murphy from Pete Gonzalez, 15 yards for the touchdown. And the Panthers move in front, 10-7 over Rutgers. Let's go back to Bloomington with Wayne.
Thank you, Mike. That Pittsburgh program developing a little bit this season. First down for the Michigan Wolverines from the 35-yard line, Hoosier territory. Floyd broke the tackle attempt by James Lamar and picks up about 3 yards.
When Cam Cameron told us yesterday that when you find a play that works, you can stick with it in the college game 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times. In the pro game, you can't do that. You take a look at total yards. Most of those yards have come on one play, the screen play. That's what's worked so well for Michigan. They're sticking with it until Indiana shows they can stop them. Of the 188 yards, and over half of them come on that little screen dump they've used.
And obviously, screen plays are all quarterback for the most part, aren't they, Randy? The timing and everything else.
Everything's all quarterback.
Well, I expect that. That's what I expect from you. Here's Greasy back to throw, and the pass knocked down, incomplete. Knocked down at the line. Ogunleye, I believe, was the man who got a hand on it and knocked it away. Third down coming up now for Michigan. Let's see if we can pick it up again, Randy, at the line.
Take a look at the right side of your screen. Ogunleye coming through, gets good penetration. Then, as every lineman is taught, get your hands up. If you can't get to the quarterback, pushes the back. Floyd away from him, number 7. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your arms up. Try and, if you don't knock the ball down, at least get in the vision of where the quarterback's looking.
Michigan's leading 10-0. 10:20 to go, first half. Third down for the Wolverines. Third and about 6, and Greasy another screen pass to Howard. Howard able to beat McGrath around the corner for a first down to the 23-yard line of Indiana.
Good job of recognition by Howard and Greasy. Indiana, watch the right side. They're bringing more men than Indiana can block. The quarterback sees that. The Michigan can block. The quarterback sees that. The running back sees that. The running back goes hot. He knows he's getting the ball right away. Greasy got it out to him. Then there's plenty of room to pick up the first down.
Randy, that's some pretty good speed that got Howard around that end, wasn't it?
That's a surprise. Michigan's back has some good speed.
Little counter play. And Clarence Williams gets the call for some tough yards down to the 20-yard line, gain of about 3. And the mid portion of that Indiana defense was there to stop him. Benyard Jones, we talked of him earlier today. James Lamar's been active as well, number 18 in that Hoosier defense.
Well, what you see with Michigan also, Wayne, is you've called Williams and Thomas and Howard. They're mixing in their backs, so they're staying fresh. It's the same Indiana defense. Like you said, Robinson, Lamar, Supernall, those are the same guys. You question how long they're going to be able to chase before they get tired.
Streets and Marcus Knight to the top of your screen, but they're keeping it on the ground, and why not? Jabbar Robinson makes the stop, and the running back, the freshman, Anthony Thomas, 6'2" and 229, the biggest of the tailbacks from Michigan, and they are very high on this true freshman from Winfield, Louisiana.
Boy, he's got fullback size and tailback speed, and they think he's got pretty good hands, so he's going to be involved in the passing game, but they're going to work him in slowly. When you've got experienced players ahead of him, no need to force him in there, but he could be a good one.
Well, another third down for Michigan, third and about 5, and the Wolverines are 5 of 8 on third down conversions. Greasy may have drawn Indiana off sides, and the pass is complete. Streets for the touchdown. Penalty marker down on the far side, but I believe this is going to hold up. It looked like
Offside on the defense. Refused. Touchdown.
that was the case.
This shows you the experience of this Michigan team. When you get a free play, the other team's offsides, you see they jump with Greasy's cadence. Go ahead and play. You've got a free play. Go for it. Don't give up. Here they throw the pass, and Streets makes a nice move there to get into the end zone.
He had to thread the needle on that throw. Joey Ellums was right there. And the extra point is good by Craig Baker. So Michigan extends its advantage to 17-0. And let's head back to Studio 66 and Mike Gleason. Mike?
Well, Wayne, Florida State starting to pull away right now. Thad Busby goes to the air again, buys some time, finds his favorite receiver, Peter Warwick, smells the end zone. This one goes 37 yards for the touchdown right there. 8 plays, 75 yards. Florida State up 20-0 over Miami.
Thank you, Mike. We'll take another look at the touchdown pass thrown by Brian Greasy to Ty Streets.
But he gets good protection to throw, and as you said, he just threads the needle, and Streets does a nice job. As soon as he catches that ball, turn and go north and south.
Well, let me ask you, if he knows he's got offsides, he knows he's got a free play, does he throw that pass if he doesn't have Indiana offsides?
Well, I think you still go ahead and throw it because I think he felt confident enough to get it in there. But that's the play that's called. The other thing as a quarterback is you don't always know if one of your backs moved and the penalty is going to be against you because you can't see behind you.
Today's Big Ten game brought to you by GTE, official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and the Big Ten corporate partner. And another deep kickoff by Jay Feely through the end zone. So the Hoosiers will take over at their 20-yard line. Jim Barber's got a special guest with him. Jim?
Okay, thank you very much, Wayne. The legendary rocker joining us on the sidelines and a good friend of Cam Cameron. Where does the friendship begin?
Well, I remember when he played sports here at IU, and when he came to work here, because of always come to these games, you know, I met him, and we started playing football together on the beach in Hilton Head, South Carolina, and he was always on the opposing team.
People know that you attend a lot of basketball games, also a lot of football. Of course, you have the Mellencamp Pavilion here, so you put your money behind your faith here with the Indiana football program.
You know, it's they came to me and they needed it, and it seemed like a nice thing to do, so I did it.
All right, John, anything you'd like to shamelessly plug at this point in terms of your music?
No, I don't do that, but I would say that don't give up on the Hoosiers yet. This is Cam's first season.
All right, very good. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
John Mellencamp with us. Let's go back to Wayne and Randy.
Dwayne Hogan rips off an 11-yard run. Tommy Hendricks makes the stop.
Nice cutback by Hogan that time, designed to go to the right. Does a nice cutback and then a nice move. Finally, some positive yardage for Indiana on the ground. They've been very poor running the ball. They need to get that going, not only to move the ball offensively, but also to keep their defense off the field.
Mellencamp Pavilion, and just as John Mellencamp said, keep the faith. The freshman Hogan rips off 11 yards to a first down, and he gets the call again, and this time runs into stiff resistance in that Michigan defense. Sam Sword, among others, in on that stop for the Wolverines, gained of barely a yard. Dhani Jones was also there for Michigan.
Wayne, I got to tell you, I have a hard time envisioning John Mellencamp playing football on the beach. Just I strike me as a football type.
I was marveling over the venue, Hilton Head, South Carolina, playing a little pickup football game. That's where that friendship was born. All right. Second down. They're going to mark it as very little or no gain on that play. From the 32. And Rogers sets up the screen, and the freshman dropped it. Hogan could not hang on. So Indiana facing a third down and 10.
As well as Hogan runs the ball, he doesn't have quite the impact in the passing game. Indiana likes to throw the ball to their backs. Chris Gall's their leading receiver, and Jason Spears their second leading receiver. But since Hogan's been playing, they really haven't had as many opportunities to throw the ball there. Doesn't quite have as good a hands.
Indiana third down, 10 yards to go. O.J. Connors at the top of your screen. Rogers over the middle. Got the tight end, Randy Maxwell. And Maxwell cut down just short of the first down. Textbook tackle made by Dhani Jones. Gain of 9. And from the 41, Indiana facing a fourth and short.
Well, as you said, just a textbook tackle. This play looked like it was going to go for the first down. Maxwell catches it. This is going to set up a fourth down here, and Indiana going to go for it on fourth and short.
Indiana, fourth downs, well, 4 of 12. Here's the handoff to the running back and getting the call off the left side. I believe that was Jason Spear, and he is very close to the first down. Or make that Hogan on the carry, not Spear, but Hogan. And Michigan says they stopped him. James Hall got there quickly for the Wolverines. Did he get there quick enough? Apparently he did. No gain, and at the 41-yard line of Indiana, Michigan will take over.
Take a look at this free play again. The offensive line has just got to come off the ball, and Michigan does a nice job of stuffing it. And that ball looked like it was fumbled because Hogan reaches back for it, and where the spot is at the 41-yard line, I believe Hogan fumbled that ball, and that's why they didn't make the first down.
So Michigan takes over, leading 17-0. Chris Floyd in that offensive backfield with Clarence Williams, and Brian Greasy at the controls. Greasy looking downfield and over the middle, and he's got Jeremy Tooman for a gain of about 8 yards. Chris over to make the stop on that play is Robinson.
You just have to like Brian Greasy as a quarterback. He's just like a doctor that can dissect you apart. He just throws it very accurately. Perfect spot for Tooman to get the ball. Pretty good coverage that time. Greasy just puts the ball right where it needs to go.
The linebacker had the coverage on that play. Second down, and it's about 2 yards to go. Tripped up in the backfield was Chris Floyd. He got back to the line of scrimmage and no farther, so third down coming up for Michigan.
Key third down, only it's 3rd and 3. Nice position to be in from an offensive point of view where you can run, you can throw the short pass. Whereas Indiana's defense now needs to come with some pressure. They need to get a positive play, force a turnover, or at least force Michigan to punt.
Greg Baker getting loosened up in case he's called upon in a moment. Slot at the top of your screen. Michigan keeps it on the ground. Howard breaks through, got the first down to the 29-yard line of Indiana, and a good read by Chris Howard off the left side of that line as they stretched it out. Tooman, the tight end, with a key block on this play.
Take a look, number 80 in white. Jeremy Tooman does a nice job, makes contact, opens the hole, pushes the guy to the inside. And now as you see Howard come through here, he is so quick, you just don't get solid hits on him. Take a look at it again. Watch the little move right there. Just enough to make Robinson miss.
So on first down, a quick hitter, Chris Floyd, bumped into his own man, Hutchinson, the offensive lineman. Floyd able to bounce off and pick up maybe a yard down to the 28-yard line. Second down coming up for Michigan.
Talked about Tooman being involved in the passing game, averaging over 23 yards of reception, which leads the Wolverines. But you just saw there, when you're a tight end and you play for Michigan, you better be able to block also.
Michigan has been solid here today. They were a little concerned last week with their fourth quarter performance offensively, to say the least, with the 3 turnovers in Michigan territory. Now Greasy. The pass play broken up, penalty marker down. O.J. Spencer, the coverage on Ty Streets. He was literally in his shirt at the 23-yard line in the penalty marker throw. Pass interference, the call against the Hoosiers.
Pretty good coverage to begin with that time.
John Perry will explain the call.
Pass interference on the defense. Place the ball at the spot of the foul. First down.
Looked like pretty good coverage, and see if this ball's thrown a little bit behind Streets, and as he turns back to stop for it is where O.J. Spencer runs into him and brings the interference call.
Another look at it. And you're right, that pass just a little bit thrown to the back hip, and that precipitated the collision from the defender and the penalty flag. First down now for Michigan at the 22-yard line, just inside the 22. Greasy trying a little crossover screen on the far side, Randy. That's a tough throw and a precision throw in heavy traffic. Ty Streets, the intended receiver. Coming up on the National Car Rental Halftime Report, brought to you by National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Well, let's go. Big Ten highlights, Penn State at Illinois, Iowa at Ohio State. Preview on ABC coming up later today. And National Notebook on today's big matchups around the nation, all just ahead of the National Car Rental Halftime Report with Mike Gleason. 2nd and 10 for Michigan. And Greasy. Could have been a flag there. Robinson, and yes, indeed, a late flag on the play. Robinson wrapping up the tight end, Tooman, near the 15-yard line. And I believe they're going to get another pass interference call against Indiana.
Take a look at this again. It's coming right at you here. Just the same quick little out route thrown to Greasy's left. Robinson looked like he had that right arm grabbed around Tooman, spun him around so that he couldn't release and go after the ball. Pretty good coverage there, though, for the most part, other than that.
Cam Cameron's defense getting worn down here in this first half by a very efficient Michigan offense. First down for the Wolverines at the 15 of Indiana. Thomas. Touchdown. Second touchdown for the true freshman out of Wingfield, Louisiana. His second touchdown of the season. 14-yard touchdown run, and Michigan extends its advantage to 23-0.
Take a look at the block on the outside. You can't have a successful running game to the outside without good blocking. Take a look at 35 Jackson, who just gets in front of King, shields him off, and then blocks him all the way back into the end zone. That's what allows Thomas to go in untouched.
Hutchinson on the flank made the first block at the line of scrimmage. Hutchinson the guard. Greg Baker's extra point is good. Michigan leading 24-0.
Here's the blocking at the line of scrimmage. That opens the hole, and then you see the downfield block right there by Jackson, just doing a nice job on defensive back.
So Michigan opens up the advantage to 24 points here in this first half. Don't forget, coming up next Saturday, the Big Ten will be running wild. Illinois star running back Robert Holcomb and the Fighting Illini of Illinois travel to Wisconsin, where Ron Dane has been running over everyone in his tracks on way to a possible Heisman Trophy. Illinois at Wisconsin next week.
Well, Wisconsin at 4-1, looking to continue their winning ways. And if you haven't seen Illinois and Robert Holcomb, he's one of the most exciting backs in the conference this year.
Ron Turner in his first year at the helm at Illinois as the head coach of the Fighting Illini. Well, they've got a rough one today, Penn State.
Tell you, it's getting to be where they're all rough. With the balance that this conference has, and as deep as it is, they're all good games.
Jay Feely's kickoff carries toward the near side. Marcus Floyd lets it float through the end zone. First down, Indiana at the Hoosier 28-yard line. We're in Bloomington, Indiana. It's homecoming weekend on a picture postcard afternoon. Big Ten football, Wayne Larrabee along with Randy Wright and Jim Barber. And the Michigan Wolverines have piled up a 24-0 lead with just under 5 minutes to go in this first half.
Indiana's offense is not going to get all this back in one play. They need to just have some positive plays. They need to stay within the system, execute the plays that are called, start with some first downs, then put a drive together, then try and get the ball into the end zone. But offensively, they have just absolutely got to get something going.
And Randy, I'm a little surprised they haven't invested more play calls in the running game. They've been more pass dominated, it appears, here today. And off play action, back to throw, and under pressure, Rodgers nowhere to go. Good penetration. Josh Williams in on that play. Rob Renus and Glenn Steele, a trio, collaborate on the sack. Back inside the 15 to the 14-yard line, a loss of 6. Phillips Petroleum, maker of super clean gasolines and Trop Arctic motor oil, is a proud sponsor of Big Ten football. Team up with Phillips 66 this fall to ensure your car runs at its best. Phillips 66, the performance company. Second down and 16 for Indiana. Browning, the freshman receiver, in motion. Rodgers screens it out, and he's got O.J. Connor. Connor picks up yardage to the 24-yard line. Sam Sword makes the stop. Clint Copenhaver was also in on that stop.
Nice play by Rodgers to not try and get all the yardage back on one play. It's only second down. Take half of it. Good job by Connor coming across the middle, catches the ball, and then right here, he turns upfield. He knows he's not going to get anything going around Copenhaver. Turn it upfield, get as much as you can.
Indiana, third downs and 4 or more. They're 12 of 18. And back to throw now. Rodgers over the middle, got a man open. Browning. Nice move out across the 35. Withers cuts him down, but it's a Hoosier first down, and the first time they've been able to convert on third downs.
Oh, I think we're going to have a holding penalty in the backfield that's going to wipe this out. But again, the same play Indiana just ran a minute ago, this time coming to the other side to the other receiver. I think we saw Victor Alate in the backfield, or Craig Robine with the hold. Nice job by Browning coming across, catching the ball. Then you see Hogan doing a nice job downfield, trying to pick somebody up to block.
See if we can pick up the hold there at the bottom of your screen, number 78. That's holding on James Hall. Robine the guilty party, and that wipes out that play.
Holding on the offense. half the distance to the goal. Replay third down.
Replay third down and back him up inside the 10-yard line to the 8.
Well, if we've seen pressure from Michigan's pass rush so far, you're really going to see it on this play. And if you're Jay Rogers, you need to know that. Don't do something foolish. Don't try and force something. Just take what that defense gives you.
Third and about 22. Browning again in motion. Rogers to his goal line. Intercepted by Woodson. Charles Woodson with the interception at the 9-yard line. And that's exactly what he didn't want to do, Randy. Exactly what you warned him. Woodson on the interception, and Michigan takes over inside the 15-yard line.
Well, when you're down 24-0 and you're a young quarterback, you think you have to do it all yourself. Here he just simply forces the ball into good coverage, and Woodson jumps up, almost acts like the receiver, does a nice job of getting right in front of him and catches that ball.
So Michigan starts this drive inside the 15-yard line, already leading 24-0 as we near the final 3 minutes of this first half. Working a tackle or two is Thomas, and Anthony Thomas picks up a couple of yards down near the 16-yard line.
Take a look at Supernaw almost going out there with a little bang up. As you can see, a couple of good hits. Robinson with a nice hit, doesn't wrap him up, and then Supernaw come and really delivers the blow.
Kind of rung the bell of the freshman.
He wasn't sure he was going to go out, then he's going to stay in, and now he's going out again to maybe catch his breath for a minute.
So it is second down for the Michigan Wolverines at about 8 yards to go. A little bit more than 7. Back to throw, Gracie. McCall in the flat, breaks one tackle attempt and reaches for the first down inside the 3-yard line. Patrick McCall getting the swing pass. Listen to this on the previous play. You heard a couple of cracks there, didn't you? One when Robinson delivered and the other one from Supernaw.
Maybe their two best hitters on the team. That's what their coaches tell us, and you can see why.
Now Michigan inside the 3-yard line on first and goal, and McCall again, big hole to the end zone for the touchdown. Patrick McCall puts Michigan on top 30-0 in this first half.
Michigan again taking advantage of their speed and running to the outside. They've got Indiana back on their heels. They've just been coming off the ball very effectively this entire first half. And Indiana's defense, which has been on the field, most of it is just getting worn down and just getting tired.
McCall, another true freshman out of Carson, California. Baker's extra point is good. Michigan's lead is immense, 31-0 over the Indiana Hoosiers. Back to Studio 66, Mike Leeson.
Well, Wayne, Michigan State are back in action today after taking last week off. They go 55 yards, 5 plays. Mark Renard from 5 yards out. Spartans 14-zip over the Gophers. Let's go back to Bloomington.
Michigan State, for real, to say the least. They are one of the top 5 teams in the Big Ten Conference. There is no doubt about that. Take a look at the last play.
Take a look at the offensive line. Just come off the ball here. Little trap play. Nice job by the tight end to open up that hole. And McCall hits it going full speed. And when you make contact, you're going to fall forward.
So Michigan up big here this first half. 3 plays, 14 yards. That coming following the interception by Charles Woodson that gave Michigan possession inside the 15-yard line of Indiana. Kickoff return hasn't been much of a factor in this ball game, with Jay Feely booming him out of the end zone. And this one, no exception. Indiana will put it in play from the 20-yard line. And Randy Wright, when you're in this situation, if you're Cam Cameron, what do you do now? What is your approach now?
Well, he's got a lot of games to play the rest of this year, and he's got a very young team. Coming into this season, he only had a couple of players that had ever played on offense and started before, only a total of 35 games, so he needs to start developing some consistency on that offense. You forget about the score. You want to execute, you want to block, you want to run, you want to catch. You tell your team, act like it's 0-0, go out there, let's run our offense, and let's start getting some positive things to happen.
Jay Rogers, the sophomore quarterback, and again, it appears, Randy, just looking at this game, that Indiana has been more pass dominated than run calls here in this first half of play. It'll be interesting to see what the statistics at halftime show us. And Hogan's going nowhere. Glenn Steele, the veteran defensive end, wraps him up. No gain, may have lost a half yard.
One thing Cam Cameron has told us in the past is he is not going to play this game to keep it close. He's going to do what he thinks he has to do.
Michigan has pinned its opponent deep. 9 of 21 kickoffs and 12 of 16 punts this season. Kicking game is a big factor, you know, in talking to Indiana coach John Haycock, the defensive coordinator. He was mentioning what are some of the key factors in a great defense. He talked first a ball controlled offense, no turnovers, and the kicking game, especially net punting. Field position so important in good defense. Well, they had it covered on the far side, and then Glenn Steele puts away Jay Rogers as he waited for a receiver to open. So back inside the 15, Josh Williams, I should say, on that stop.
Take a look at Steele coming from the right side of your screen. Rogers, by time he feels his presence, he has no chance to do anything but just tuck that ball and protect against the fumble. But Steele just beats his offensive lineman. You're up 31-0 and still celebrating as much as they can.
I think that Josh Williams on the sack, and 3rd down and long now for Indiana. Back at the 13-yard line of the Hoosiers. And they give it to Hogan. Hogan made a couple of people miss. Picks up just a few yards out across the 15-yard line as time winds down in this first half of play. Hogan on the carry.
Indiana needs to get in the locker room and rehuddle, Wayne. Just what we talked about a few minutes ago. Just have your team calm down and come out and try and execute your plays.
Alan Sutkowski on punt formation. And Russell Shaw heading back deep to receive this one. But he's not going to get a chance to as the clock winds down and the first half comes to a close. So on a beautiful day in central Indiana, we see the best of Michigan offensive efficiency as the Wolverines lead big at halftime. Let's get out of Jim Barber.
Thank you, Wayne. A very impressive second quarter. What opened things up in this game, Lloyd?
Well, I think we came ready to play, and you know, we've had good balance on offense, but I think the big thing is our defense is playing well. They caused a couple of turnovers in there that have been big.
Eric Mays went to the locker room with an injury, then came back. Any latest news on him?
No, we don't know yet.
Okay, thank you, Lloyd. 31-0 at half in favor of Michigan. Back upstairs, Wayne Larrabee and Randy Wright, guys.
Thank you very much, Jim. Well, halftime, Michigan is leading big. It's time now to check back with Mike Lease at his Studio 66 with the National Car Rental halftime.